Hello everyone, my name is Jake Sheldon. I am here with my friend Danny Leibrandt, and he is the owner of Pest Control SEO, a successful marketing agency for pest control owners. And today I do have a few questions for him. Thanks for showing up here today, Danny. I really appreciate you.
Of course, Jake.
So one of the questions that I want to ask right away, Danny, is about backlinks. It's what type of backlinks are going to be the most valuable for pest control companies to get right away?
Yeah, definitely. And maybe even a better place to start is like, do backlinks even matter? Because a lot of people even ask me this. Yeah. Backlinks do still 100% matter. I hate to break it to you, but backlinks are really, you can think of them, first off, if you don't know what they are, it's essentially a link from someone else's site to your site. And that will particularly be a link on one of their pages on their sites that will be maybe in the text of their page, or that could be a button, and then it goes to one of the pages on your site. So that's what a backlink is. And the reason why it's so important is because it essentially acts as a vote of confidence. So everything in SEO is about building authority and trust. So when a very trustworthy, authoritative person links to your site, that acts as what people call in SEO a vote, that they are giving you a vote of confidence that, maybe I write an article about pest control marketing and I link to your website because I'm like, talking maybe about Facebook ads. And I'm like, oh, if you want to learn about Facebook ads for pest control, definitely check out Jake Sheldon. And then, in Jake Sheldon, I could link to your personal site. And that would be a vote of confidence saying like, hey, I clearly endorse this person or this site, overall, this entity. And that's why it's so powerful. And kind of in the other respect, it's not so powerful when it's from smaller sites that have no authority or relevance or trust. So I've seen this before, that some people will pay, or at least, I don't know about people paying, but I've seen ads on Facebook that say, buy 10,000 backlinks for $100. And I'm sure some people actually find that attractive. But the key with backlinks is that they are from a relevant, authoritative, trustworthy source. And actually, like 5 to 10 really quality backlinks, even you could argue one, is better than 10,000 really bad backlinks. Yep. Because they just don't matter. Google doesn't place any relevance from those links. It actually could work to your detriment that you are doing bad SEO. Like, honestly, in Google's guidelines, they actually say don't buy any links. It should be completely natural, that your pages should be so good that people naturally link to them. And, that won't be the case all the time. I still actually do recommend that people buy links to at least a certain extent of, that might even just be local sponsorships. But that still should be kind of the philosophy around your content, that it should be so good, like even the content that we're making here. I hope that this video is so good that people end up sharing it on social media, and they might message me, or they might make a post about it, or they might even make a blog about it and link to it, because all those things are like the same thing. It's all people talking about you, and the way that I talked to you last night about like the different kinds of authorship, that's people talking about you. So a backlink is kind of just the furthest extent of that, because it's really hard to acquire a great backlink from a great company. So now, sorry, I kind of missed the question. So yeah, what kind of backlinks are most valuable? So I'd argue one of the most valuable ones is local links. So that is, and I first talked about trust and authority, but part of that also plays into relevance. So same thing with the internal linking, which we talked about in another episode, that when you internally linked to other pages that are similar, that shows relevance, that this is clearly, this company clearly does pest control in Illinois, and they serve all of these different cities in Illinois. If you also get backlinks from different companies in Illinois, and ideally that might be home service companies, then that is kind of an affirmation that you are a home service company in Illinois. And not only that you are one, but that you are a trustworthy one, because it's hard to get a backlink. When you get backlinks, especially the more authoritative and trustworthy companies, then that is a signal to Google like, dang, this has to be somebody. The same way you have someone on a podcast, or you co-create a book with someone. Like, it is a vote of confidence when you link to someone, when you have them on a podcast, any of these different signals. So we really like to prioritize local links. We've seen those work tremendously. And then outside of that, we ideally want some authoritative links as well. So it shouldn't be all local. We like to get a good mix there. So authoritative links should also be somewhat niche relevant. So ideally, a great one would be like PCT magazine, or anything regarding pest control, but maybe it's a, pest control product instead, because ideally it's, it's not a competitor. But maybe you have a pest control company in California, and you have a buddy who has a pest control company in Florida. Why not link to each other? Because you guys both own pest control companies. Those are both super relevant links. And, if they have a lot of SEO power, that would be super helpful for your website and ranking.
Hey guys, real quick. If you guys are really looking to grow your pest control company, check out what we do at pestcontrolmillionaires.com.
Yeah, even talking about the backlinks of buying them, I see that quite a bit of, I bought 20,000, I bought 30,000 links for XYZ price. And I'm like, oh no.
No, it ruins you.
Yeah. Yep. Next question for you, Danny, is which outreach methods effectively secure the backlinks?
Yeah, this is actually a really good question, because most people can't do this. Most people don't even really get to this stage. So one of the ways that we like to get those local links I was talking about was reaching out to local sponsorships / donations / charities. So there are plenty of these kinds of organizations that will allow you to become a sponsor, and that the result of that, of you sponsoring them or you donating, might be a social post about you. They might put your logo on, their banner at their event for a little bit, or they might give you a link on their site. And that's ultimately what we're looking for. But really, like, when we're talking about legitimate, off-page SEO, building backlinks, a big part of that is PR. So I actually heard someone talk about this at Pest World, that, we have, I don't know, there was like one of the biggest companies in PR, and they're talking that, their company name is everywhere, and, they sponsor the local baseball team and everything. And I actually didn't get to ask them this question because, we ran out of time, but I wanted to ask, are you getting links from this though? Because that is like the full circle. If we could get those links from local companies in the area that people trust, and a lot of these, local sponsorships actually have a good amount of SEO power, and they're obviously local, that if we can get some links from those, that would be huge. So in terms of actually reaching out to those, first you have to identify them, which you can do a search of Chicago sponsorship, Chicago donations, whatever. Find those sites. A lot of them will have a contact form, or at least some kind of contact information. And they might even have some kind of packages already fleshed out of hey, you can pay $500 for a link on our site. And it's like, boom, okay, you already know. And you can just either buy it right there, or you can message them and say, hey, I'm interested, I want to buy the link. Or a lot of them will just offer some kind of social post, and that will be it. But we do want to get the link here if we're really trying to boost our SEO here. So you want to go to that contact form, you want to message these people, and you can say something pretty nice, just like, hey, I was looking to donate to your company. I really believe in the cause, or whatever. It's for handicapped people or for whatever. Really love the cause, would love to get involved. I have a pest control company in town, would love to help out. I saw that you guys have, different packages on different things. I was wondering if you guys provide any opportunities, regarding your website. So, you can kind of just say something nice there. Don't directly say hey, can we get a backlink? And how much does a backlink cost? You want to don't be too aggressive, but they know any website opportunities, that they know what that means. A lot of these people will respond, because this is their whole thing is getting donations and sponsorships. And then you can kind of go from there. And depending on the power of their site, depending on how local they are and such, then it might make sense to pay up to, if they are a really authoritative site, it would make sense to pay $1,000 for a link.
Yeah.
But less authoritative, smaller company, maybe $200 to $300. It depends.
Good stuff. The next question for you is what backlink strategies are considered like low quality versus more risky?
Yeah, definitely. So a good general principle here is that the harder a backlink is to get, the better it is. So the ones that are super easy. Yeah, exactly. That's part of it. So the ones that are super easy, the ones that you can just click a button and buy 100,000, those aren't quality links. So again, that's a good general principle. If it's really easy to get, it's probably not that good. The very good ones are probably going to be expensive. And then in terms of the ones that are actually risky, overall, like buying those low quality links is going to be risky. Google doesn't like seeing that, especially if they're not relevant or authoritative in any way. So if you are a pest control owner and you buy a ton of links, and let's say those links are for, I don't know, like, buying and selling tables. It's like, and also the site was built yesterday and they've also given links to 100,000 other sites. Like what, how is this relevant at all? Like this makes us doubt you more because Google is looking at all the things that you're doing. So also if you have like a ton of AI generated pages on your site, it's not only that those won't rank, but it's actually that Google's like, I trust you less because they're looking at every single thing you're doing, even the backlinks, because Google knows, that they weren't born yesterday. They've been around for a while, and now they have all of these AI bots to assess what's going on with your site and all the backlinks coming in and such. So they can see very clearly if you are doing some scammy, risky things and all of the other people that are doing scammy, risky things too. So really beware of buying like those bulk packages of links. Really for clients, we just aim to build like 3 to 5 really quality links every month.
That's good. And the last question for you, Danny, is how can you measure the backlink quality and the progress of those?
Yeah, that's a tough question, and I don't necessarily have an answer. That's one because SEO takes time, right? Mm-hmm. So we can measure that on a longer time frame, but that's not something that's going to happen right away. So honestly, you need to hire an SEO person that you trust, or an SEO agency that you trust, and they will quantify this for you, but it's not going to be like, something like Facebook ads where, you're making money for every dollar you spent. Like, no, and really, again, you need to start thinking about backlinks more like PR. Like, this is a branding opportunity. We are building our reputation. We are going to pay, $500, $1,000, whatever for this link. And we might not get any results from it for 3 months, 6 months, but this is going to be something that is long-term, that is going to build our reputation and authority. So there's not like necessarily a, certain measurement or like KPIs to track, but like overall you need someone that you can trust that is in charge of these things, that has you, still building a good amount of backlinks, not just like only building the free ones or only building the cheap ones. This definitely needs to be part of your SEO strategy.
Yep. On a scale of importance, Danny, like from 1 to 10 on SEO ranking, like where would backlinks be in the ranking system of SEO as a total?
Okay, that's a tough one. So I'll reframe this, and the reframe is SEO is a game of competition. Mm-hmm. So it's not so much of like how important this thing or the other is, but it's more so, are you better than the competition or not? Mm-hmm. So it's, and that goes for every aspect of SEO. So really you could actually measure your competition instead and see, okay, let's say, your top 3 competitors, they're all, a 5 out of 10 on on-page SEO, a 5 out of 10 on technical SEO, a 5 out of 10 on off-page SEO. Then you should ideally be a 6 out of 10 on all 3 of those or better. So it's not like you have to be perfect. You don't have to totally crush it, but I'm glad you actually mentioned this because like this is the overall concept of SEO, that like you don't have to be perfect and you can't be perfect, but like we need to take a look at the competition and just do better than that. So supposedly, hypothetically, if your competition isn't building any backlinks, then you might not even need to. But if they're building a lot of backlinks and a lot of companies are starting to, then you probably need to.
That's really important. Now, last thing is this something that you would suggest someone finds an agency to do, or would you suggest it's something that they could learn? Because this does get a lot more technical when we're talking the backlink side of things. So yeah, I guess what do you think as far as that goes?
I think you have to hire an agency or hire an SEO person, VA, whatever. All this stuff gets like really complex. And this is just one component of SEO. There's so many different things that go into it. So generally I would recommend finding a trusted expert, but you still should have some baseline knowledge, which, you know, if you're watching this video, then good on you. You're building this baseline knowledge now. But I don't think it should be something that you do yourself. Like, you should have an understanding of SEO and of PR, but you should have a PR person. You should have an SEO person. Like, you should delegate these things, especially because they're so complex. And honestly, like, I'll be completely transparent. SEO is something that you should invest in once you have more capital, because it is a longer term strategy. So when you're just starting out, if you're even under 500K a year, then do more of the short term strategies that are going to generate revenue basically right away. Like the Facebook ads, we can see that we're getting customers from, you know, we have like $100 cost per customer or whatever, or local service ads or Google ads, versus SEO. It might take 3 months to get results. If you're starting from zero, it might take 12 months to get results. So
it's not instant return.
Yeah, no, it's not instant. So I don't think that's something you should do as a beginning pest control owner. I think you should focus on more of those short-term tasks. And as you get to, you know, sub-million, $1 million+ a year, then start looking at SEO. And you're a busy person at that point. You're hiring someone to do that for you.
Mm-hmm. No, that's really good that you said that, because just like we've spoken in previous videos, is some of the things that you pest control owners can focus on are Google My Business Profile, getting reviews, making sure you're replying to the reviews. You can do a few things on the website, but past that, you might want to consider hiring an agency to do all this. It is pretty technical. But just like Danny was saying in the beginning, like, you need to be focusing on the things that you can focus on that brings pretty quick returns. Like, if we're going to be spending money on advertising, we want it to get a pretty quick return. But for those of you watching who are doing a few $1 million a year and you don't have some of these things dialed in, you probably should.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And that's like, when you start getting that big, that's when you really start looking more into branding, into SEO, into PR, and all of those things. And that's really when you should. And you've built a successful company. You have a lot of employees. There's a lot of content you can gather, and you have the capital to pursue that. So that's when you really get into it.
Yep. Well, great stuff, Danny. I appreciate you answering those questions for me here today. And we'll see you guys on the next video.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Jake.
Thanks, Danny.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. I know that we really appreciate you guys taking the time with us here. If you guys have any questions, comments, make sure to throw them in the comment section below. And if you found this valuable, make sure to like and subscribe, and to share with your friends who maybe own a service business themselves. Again, our goal here is to provide as much value to you guys as possible. Also, if you guys are really looking to grow your business, make sure to check out our website at pestcontrolmillionaires.com. We'll have the link below in the bio, and we'll also have a free school group for you guys to check out. So thanks for watching.